Hello, and welcome to the Run Amok Podcast.
Hello, and welcome back to the Run Amok Podcast, home to the best Bachelor recaps on this side of the Bachelor Mansion. As always, I'm your host, David Stahl, and I'm joined alongside me by my loyal compadres, producer Gary and Carson Cooper, to break down the latest drama from our favorite franchise, fellas. We're back after a little bit of a hiatus. How does it feel to be back in the Bachelor Mansion with our boy Clayton?
A little rusty. Feeling a little rusty right now, to be honest. Yeah,
I lost your podcast.
I might have. Yeah, the posture's just not right.
Every time we take a week off, man, it feels like 3 months. Like it feels so long. I don't know why. It's just.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I was getting set up last week about 5 minutes before the episode to watch.
Yeah.
And like I was planning the next day, as like today when we record.
Yeah.
Planning for nothing because there wasn't.
Yes. No, I did. I think I did the same thing, right, Gary? I think I texted you, oh, we're going to do the live stream. We're going to hop on.
Well, and we have some friends that watch weekly too, like just outside of the podcast.
Oh,
and they were gathering all the people up. They're like, oh, everyone to my house. And I had to break
and
the
you
news,
broke their heart.
I was like, hey guys, sorry to break it to you, but there's no episode this week.
Oh, you could tell they were so embarrassed. I could feel the embarrassment through the phone. Yeah. But we are indeed back. Now, we did allude, let's give a little bit of news. We're going to dive into our listener mail like we always do. Then we're going to we got to do a little bit of housekeeping first, and then we will, of course, dive into what was a fun episode. We'll see. Yeah. We're mixed on it. We'll talk it through. We're gonna go through everything. We're gonna go through shit. I really don't even want to say Shanae's name anymore, but she continues to spiral somehow. There's always the bar can always get lower. Cassidy goes home. Rachel really emerges as a contender. But before all that, we alluded to a live stream, Gary. What we've been doing over the past few weeks, just experimenting, is live streaming during the show. Now, we've had some great regulars hop in and interact with us, and we love it. However, I think in Canada, like the stream, we're streaming 10 seconds before that. And then when we're broadcasting onto YouTube, we're another 10 seconds behind. So we're always behind our viewers. We're talking over stuff when it's silent for us and it's not for them.
Yeah. And on top of that, you're 30 seconds behind me, which just adds a whole nother dimension to it.
There was points
when you can hear him.
There was points when I can hear him. Yeah, that's
where I was convinced that I was watching episode 2 and you guys were on episode 3. That I was I went back in time somehow and just reversed the trajectory of the earth. But I think for now, we're just going to have to not do the live streams. We're going to find maybe a fun format. Maybe we'll end up doing down the line a little reaction live stream at 15 minutes after the episode or something like that. We'll see. Maybe let us know if that's something you're interested in. But for now, we're still delivering you recaps every single week. That being said, rate, review, subscribe, comment your thoughts in the comment section below. That always is fantastic to see. We love that, and if we get a great comment, we'll read it on the air. Now, I'm gonna go to the listener mail, but I'm not going to say the name. I don't think, because I don't want to shame anyone, but it is fantastic sometimes. Should I read it, Gary? We had one person who went.
Withhold the name.
This is
but you can
episode back, of course. Yeah. And they said, I don't know. It was just me and Gary on, and it's not offensive to you, Gary. I'm going to assume they were talking to me, and I think
I'm going to assume that, yeah.
But they pretty much said, I'm going to paraphrase it. You never stop talking, and you're very opinionated. You're always saying what people should or shouldn't have done. And I'm open to feedback, but at this point, I for that particular comment, I just commented back. That's what a podcast is.
That's the show. Yeah.
That's what a podcast is. It's a recap pod. We got to say what we think should or shouldn't happen,
and there will be a lot of talking.
Yeah.
We did end up finding out that she was a big Brandon fan, and it was on an episode where we weren't too kind to Brandon, which is fair, but that's not the first time that's happened, and it won't be the last. People fall in love with contestants, and I respect it. I do respect it. However, we got to talk and we got to give our opinion. I will say that those are two pillars of the show. Yeah. And if that's not your thing, fair enough. I might counter, maybe not the program for you. You might just be a solo viewer. That might be your move for Bachelor Nation. I might direct
you to music.
I might direct you to just watching the TV, to just watching the show the good old-fashioned way. But fellas, let's dive in. I'm interested on your initial reaction because, again, like we mentioned, we didn't get last week. Right. That was we had some NFL playoff football. And so Bachelor very rarely shifted over a week later. However, we had the whole Cassidy drama. We were so jacked up about it. We had that electric delivery from Clayton to Jesse Palmer. Has anyone ever taken back a rose before? And Jesse Palmer just blown away. Couldn't believe it. But then it felt like we came back. It'd been building for 2 weeks. For me, it kind of lost the momentum a little bit. Yeah. How did it feel to you guys?
Well, that's just exactly. It just fell flat. I mean, you can't go a whole week off, but they set it up well. I mean, left us on a great cliffhanger, the kind of cliffhanger you'd want for about to go on a week hiatus. But
of course,
then it was over within 30 seconds, and it just wasn't that eventful. It played out exactly the way I had it pictured in my mind.
Yeah. I also was super disappointed because last week's episode, or the episode number 2 was so good, and we were trying to live stream it, and my power went out like 3 seconds after we started the live stream, and we just gave up. And it ended up being like an electric episode, so I'm like, okay, we got to get the next one. And then it just kind of fell flat. Plus, we had the technical difficulties. It was
so on a personal level,
on a personal level, this was the worst week of my life.
Wow, heavy stuff. But on a viewership level, I think it also, it's like we said, it's tough, and also because this was something that was teased for, it felt like months. Like this was what we got when Caitlin Bristow brought out Clayton to read his mean tweets. This is what we got when we were getting the teases at the end of Michelle's season, and then this is it. But we do start off the episode with it, so I guess let's dive in, guys.
Sure.
I'm seeing people online, again, we talked about this last week, defending Cassidy not as a person. I think it's pretty clear that she's insufferable and that she wouldn't have made it far. Like, I think at some point it would have been sussed out of like, oh,
sure,
you're maybe the least genuine personality I've ever encountered in my life.
Yeah.
But is she at fault for not breaking off every single tie? Because I think the philosophy is, what if you get sent home night 1 and then you got nothing to go back to?
Yeah. I think we talked about this a little bit last episode as well, but I don't think you're expected to just like burn every single bridge that you've ever, romantic bridge that you've ever kind of built up. But I think the way it was portrayed or shown to us initially was that she was very much like almost eager to like, oh, well, when I get back to wherever she's from, I'm going to guess LA. When I get back to LA or New York, or like we're gonna watch it together. And like I get that the likelihood of you going on the show and making it all the way to the end is not high, right? There's a good chance you're going to be sent home, and it's probably good in your own mind to have a kind of contingency plan there. But at the same time, if you're the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, and you're throwing your whole life into this, and you need to have the people there putting in as much as you are, right? At least wanting the same thing. So for that reason, I do think she's at fault.
I totally agree. And I think it's also a matter of why are you bragging about it? Why are you talking about it?
Exactly.
Why are you boasting about it? Yeah. Is just a level of, and this word gets saturated in the show, but a level of disrespect, definitely, to be talking to various people about it. Yeah. Also talking disrespect. Imagine being the guy back at home.
Oh,
poor guy. But he's just watching. He didn't even know what show she was coming on. He goes, "Oh no, that loser. Oh no, I haven't talked to anyone I remotely respect."
That was a dead end relationship. We weren't going anywhere, and he's sitting back at home saying, "We just FaceTime last night, babe."
that guy was a stud, Clayton. He was nothing. He was a
pick that guy off the streets, Clayton. What?
That was a 10-cent guy with a 2-cent finish. I don't even really know what that means, Cassidy, but you got to go. You got to go. You guys missed that line? No, it was again a quick exit for Cassidy. We got not the crocodile tears. She got them flooding down the cheeks for sure.
Yeah.
A strong cry. Not convinced. Going to be honest. I think she was broken up. We talked about this on the live stream, but not anything to do with Clayton and the fact that like not a lot of future influencers go home week 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the bigger worry.
It's funny too how she went into their one-on-one conversation very confident. I know what you're gonna say. I already know what you're gonna say. Like, what did you think he was gonna say?
I think it was about her being obnoxious. I think she was ready to be like, I'm just very confident.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think she had her lines very prepared because that's something that gets brought up. And I think she would have gone into the classic trope that people go into. I'm just
because it looked like she was awfully caught off guard there.
Yeah. And I think he would have, I think if that were the case, he would have certainly bought that because, and we'll get into it.
He believes anything.
Guy means he's the most gullible man I've ever, and he's exactly who we thought he was. Like, he's better in some respects, and he's a very genuine guy. He's got some depth to him, but in terms of his core judgment,
we specifically had a whole conversation. I think week 2 about his judgment, what that would look like. Yeah. So. I think we were pretty spot on.
I mean, all fairness to him though, like he did show he showed some progress this episode, but he just delves right back into his old self later in the episode. So.
Oh, totally. and let's dive into some of that progress though, because we do after Cassidy goes home, and we say goodbye to some other women who obviously we don't really know them that well, but we're shocked. Are we shocked to see Shanae go through? Were either of you guys surprised? Because I know on the live stream we were thinking that's a producer decision.
Producer ploy.
At the same time, Clayton's still making out with her. Yeah. So clearly he wasn't that against the decision.
I actually want to talk to Carson about one thing about the rose ceremony. Did you think it was between Elizabeth and Shanae? Like for the final rose, because the way they framed it was so strange. I thought,
dude, it was so weird.
That was the final rose because they kept panning back and forth, and then we're like, oh shit, Shanae's going home, and then they just pan back and there's like, oh, one more rose. It's like,
yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because it was between her and Elizabeth. And then they both got roses.
Yeah, and they both ended up getting roses.
Between one girl and like the other 3, none of the 4 that we were familiar with.
Yeah.
Really.
You're right. They really built it up, and then they panned to the little stand, and there's another rose sitting there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, then it's going to Shanae.
Yeah. There were some production errors here. I might suggest on this episode, but let's and look. This is something on a real note too that people have pointed to a little bit as a production error, and they're kind of done with this date, is the heavy trust
trauma
circle sort of thing. We got it with what was it, Katie's guys, right? I believe that was when it was. And look, and people said also, just not even a sense of forcing these women to dump their women and Clayton to dump their trauma on national television, even in the sense of watching a TV show. Look, I get having these sorts of dates when we can't travel, but this is a travel season. Why are we having a naked scavenger hunt? Why are we having these heavy conversations? Let's kick it up a notch. I know you're the date connoisseur, Coop. This must have been torture for you.
Well, this is brutal. I think Matt James / Matt Brown also may have had one on his season as well. For whatever reason, I just picture him sitting in a circle in a dark room like that.
Immediately when it started to happen, I was like, they do this every season.
Oh, they do it every season.
I've seen so far, I swear they've done it. Which
it's brutal when you compare like that date to the other group date. It's like how is that? Like how are we in the same realm of that? Like I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter and social media about like we gotta kind of get away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. But we do also have we got some really touching moments as well, though, from a number of the women. And I might actually even ask you, Gary, if you could pull up maybe the contestants, and maybe we could try to reference some of them. I'm trying to remember who the woman was. I drafted her, so I should know.
You should
but
know.
The name is escaping me. She talked a lot about body image, and sort of she got accusations of anorexia. That was really powerful.
Genevieve, no?
No.
You're talking about the second girl. Yeah, Genevieve was first off. I think she was the opener.
Yeah, but and then obviously Clayton to the other end of the spectrum. This episode talks a lot about his issues with body image as well. So kudos to them for opening up. I think we see a little bit of the charm that the producers saw in picking Clayton there.
Yeah, the thing about these dates too, like I'm not saying anything new here. Like this is an obvious kind of glaring issue with it. It's just, if you're in that circle and you are not comfortable about being vulnerable about some past issues as heavy as these ones are, which completely fine. Like you shouldn't have to share that stuff or relive that stuff or talk about that stuff if you're not comfortable doing so. Absolutely. Unfortunately, the way this show works is that ultimately you're either going to be portrayed as like someone who didn't open up or is not opening up to whoever the Bachelor is, and you're not as far along as these other girls are, other guys are in developing a relationship. And that's just unfortunately how you come across.
And it's very early.
It is very early, right? I mean, aside from some conversations, you don't really know the guy still.
Yeah.
Like it's just like going up to like a Tinder date essentially and just telling them your life issues and struggles and things that you've kind of gone through, right? It's just not a comfortable situation for anybody.
Yeah. And I get it's an accelerated process, but I agree in terms of like, this is a different extreme, right? Like this was very, and it's not just one-on-one, right? You're also sharing it with girls in the house that you didn't select.
In the entire world.
Yeah, yes. And obviously, yes, the entire world as well. Serene is the name of the
teacher.
The teacher. Love her.
She's awesome.
Do you remember who you drafted, by the way?
I do.
We were debating it last night.
Susie and Gabby.
Yeah. Because we thought that as well. That was our final conclusion. Yeah. And I think our other conclusion is that no one drafted Sarah. But we get that group date after the fact. So we'll dive into we'll dive into Rachel's one-on-one after the Baywatch date. But I will say just on this drama date too, I feel like Katie's guys got put through the ringer a bit more though. Like these ones were all about, tell me about yourself. And hers was all about, how many people have you cheated on? Like how many relationships have you broken?
I was about to ask what the, what did she pose to those guys? But yeah, that's
I think where we got Thomas,
different vibes.
Or I think it was Thomas opening up about like, oh, I'm kind of just here to be the next Bachelor. Like he didn't say that obviously, but he like just that was his truth. That was his big truth. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And let's dive into that. It was so funny too. And what's great about doing the group dates back to back is they simply couldn't have been more different. You go from
that's just it.
The heaviest date to the most nothing date ever. And what I realized is all of these dates, like this is another promotional one. I didn't even realize it's a show like a Baywatch reboot coming to Hulu. Yeah. So we're just getting a lot of promos this season, which is fine. Whatever. I don't really care. I'm already a sheep to whatever the producers want. So I may as well just keep riding that wave. But my biggest note, we got to take care of our Bachelor. How are we letting him get this burned? Yeah, man. Do you see how torched that man's skin was sizzling?
Singed the chest hairs off of him.
How Oh, we got the nipple bit, Shanae. Like, fine, whatever.
Weird, but okay.
Weird, but not like the worst thing ever. I actually thought it was a bit funnier than the girls gave her credit for, but I get it because she's obviously the worst. But how do we not get his shoulders, his arms, his chest? He was just toasted, absolutely toasted. But honestly, I literally had no other notes from this date.
Well, I was about to say, like, I remember them running up the beach in their classic red Baywatch swimsuits. Then I'm thinking, what was the rest of the day? Them walking in slow-mo and trying to remember that? Like,
so I can't remember whether this was the
and the CPR part too.
The trauma day. I think does Serene get for the trauma circle? Does she get that group date? Rose?
I
think she might have.
All I know is Gabby got the one for the
Yeah.
Oh, no, then I know who it is because Eliza gets the first one.
Oh, okay.
And then, so shout out to Eliza. Happy to draft her. Don't think she's winning it. But then we'll got to go back to address this. They're standing in front of the mirror. And Clayton goes like, and Eliza's basically like, we look great as a couple. And Clayton goes, yeah, great style. And he's rocking his second hoodie with a blazer in 3 weeks.
And she's in a ball gown.
And she's in a ball gown, bro. What are we doing? I couldn't believe it.
He claims that this is the last week we'll ever see that.
Yeah, I mean, thank God I saw that.
But thank God, brutal. How can you?
He's
2 weeks in a row.
also great on Twitter though. Throughout the episodes,
he is.
He is
in future
awesome.
episodes, there's just like botched CGI over his like.
yeah.
Stuff. It's like, don't worry, guys, it's not coming back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that. Oh, I mean, I'm proud. Like that's better. That's better than seeing the real thing. I think the look works, and I'm not. It's he's the guy's jacked. The guy's like should have no qualms about his body whatsoever, but it just doesn't work on him. I don't know why.
No. Just the shoulders are too broad. It's just, and like he's trying to dress it up too much.
Which was worse, the pink sweater? Because that pink sweater dude was a bat.
I was gonna say you would have loved that purple sweater on anyone else, but on him it just.
It didn't fit. It
didn't fit.
Yeah.
And I got to bring this up also. Listen. If you're someone, and I'm not one of these people, if you're someone who can pull off a leather jacket, all to you. He looked like a Ninja Turtle to me.
You didn't like the leather jacket?
No,
I was kind of badass.
Listen. I honestly, if it wasn't even,
I saw it getting ripped apart. I know
it's not even his build, man. If you switched his head with another head, it would have looked good. It just wasn't fitting what's going on up here.
This guy is built for a classic suit.
Yeah,
dude, you are gonna fill out a suit so nicely.
Jesse Palmer every episode is rocking a suit.
He's giving you the blueprint.
That's what you need.
He's giving you the blueprint. He's giving you a mirror of like, oh, I could look like that. Great, just give me that. 18 sizes
every
bigger.
Time. Yeah.
Like he just, I couldn't believe it. But anyways, great call. Gabby gets the Baywatch group date. How do you feel about? And Gary, give me your thoughts too. But Coop, as someone who drafted him, her, I should say. How do you feel about Gabby? Because I think her personality is, I love it. I think she's so endearing.
Do you remember what I said about her?
I was going to bring this up in the live stream actually, because you're like, I don't really like Gabby, but I think she's a good pick.
I did say I usually like to draft someone who I get behind.
Yeah.
And she just, from her intro and what we knew of her at the first episode, I thought she was kind of surface level, a little too goofy, a little immature. Especially when she said, I'm a nurse and I helped out with the worldwide pandemic. It's like, well, it's still going on. And why aren't you like, you know what I mean? It was just kind of weird the way she phrased, weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Sure.
But no, I'm glad you brought that up because I have a completely changed mindset on Gabby.
I just think she's so likable.
Awesome personality. Yeah.
Very
so great.
charming.
And like, that boosted her stock for my pick.
Yeah, I was with you 100% too. Like I honestly thought she was like really dumb, like just like super like surface level, just goofy. That's all she had to offer. But she just opened right up, and I think she's actually pretty like self-aware, and she
absolutely
has some emotional intelligence there for sure. Yeah,
we got to we'll have to check the tapes. I think I'm not just saying this. I think I did like her initially.
I think you like too. Yeah,
and to me, and I think you guys will obviously agree now. She comes across as goofy at first, but I think she is someone where it is clear that there is more there. Obviously, she has a job that requires her to be a smart person, so she does have intelligence. I think what you guys are referring to is like that social intelligence, like that emotional depth.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
and I think that's there too. I think it's very clear that she's just quirky without being the person that's like, I'm so quirky and weird. You know what I mean? Because that's intelligent.
That was
balance.
the biggest moment for me when she was like I'm goofy, but not all the time. It's like, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Because if you're goofy and you're like, oh, this is me all the time, then like that's all you.
Yeah. When you're saying I'm the goofy one, like, well, there goes the bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally. So she gets the group day rose. Great episode for her. But I might say, I think the winner of this episode, I think it's got to be Rachel, dude, because she did well, dude. She got the group rose last week too, and now she's coming in with a one-on-one that went extremely well. But I will say this again: we critique the date. Super naked episode, generally speaking.
Yeah,
very naked episode.
Clayton a few times taking off his tarp
for a guy that's explicitly said, "Hey,
I don't like taking off my tarp.
Don't love being naked."
Yeah.
Don't love being naked. I said, okay, well, we don't give a shit. Like, you're going to be naked this whole season. And that kind of turned out to be the case. Now, he also confirmed on Twitter that both of them were given
the underwear.
Those
a lot of people were wondering about that because it was very
obviously they were.
Obviously.
Well, she joked too, like, what if you're not wearing any? And may have not been a joke, or may have been, come on, dude. And when they were jogging, I said on the live stream, they could just be wearing jogging gear, right? Like, it's not insane
for sure.
It's also in LA. Like, it's not the most insane, or in California at the very least, not the most insane outfit to be wearing.
I mean, she basically just had on a sports bra and shorts. Like, that's just jogging attire. And same with Clayton.
And same with him. Yeah.
And if you put those underwear on me, it would be like wearing like pants,
gym shorts.
Like,
oh, totally. Yeah. Literal pants, like dragging behind you. Yeah. Man. But they have to do a whole bunch of embarrassing things, blah, blah, blah. But it ultimately amounts in the singing. Let's break it down, because I saw Sarah getting a lot of heat online. For rapping, and people are saying never try to rap. And we've always said that. However, I actually think it was like kind of,
I think she did
charming
fine.
And cute.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it was awesome.
I know it's always cringy, but I didn't cringe. I thought, like, oh, well, I crushed it.
You know what was cringy was Clayton singing. And if you then try to top it up with like some singing like that as well, like,
dude,
I don't know. It was refreshing that she just started to rap.
Mm-hmm. I unfortunately think I would have done something similar to Clayton, where like clearly he tried to make it into a joke.
For sure.
He tried to
do it nice and
like,
quiet as much as possible.
As quiet as possible. Maybe do say it was like some sort of like not overtly.
Oh yeah,
but like
I'm not putting this on him. I think.
Oh, for sure.
Lose.
A chance.
No, of course not. No.
Yeah. Very, very embarrassing date, but they do seem to have a very real connection. Sarah's adoption story was really heartfelt. She's young though, eh? She's 23 years old.
Right.
Insane.
But
she has a great job. She seems mature. I like her. I like her a lot. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Yeah, she's 23. She's a wealth management advisor in New York City.
Interesting.
So I think she might be the perfect mix of, she does have a level of maturity where she seems ready for this, but I think Clayton is definitely going to gear towards a slightly younger woman. I think a woman like a Mary, or was it Amari? She seems very mature, kind of put together. Not that the other women aren't put together, but you know what I mean. I think he's gearing towards a younger woman.
Mm-hmm. Just a thought that completely off topic, but it's about the date. But like you said, some people were knocking this date. A lot of people were knocking this date. Just the overall schematics of it was like, this is my issue with it.
Yeah.
If you're bringing in like Becca, for example, to be a guest on the show, like, why are we wasting her time with that?
Yeah, I forgot she was even on the episode.
Well, exactly. If you're bringing in someone to kind of try to like give them at least a good like bit to do, or like a good date to lead or something, or to set up, like what? Why does she even need to be there? And that's not a knock on her.
They are so disrespectful to former contestants.
They really are.
They do this all the time, and a decent amount of the time, we'll see stills that are leaked after from dates that were straight up cut. Like Atasha will have like went there. I remember there was one where, who was it? There were two former contestants that were very high profile. I think both former leads went for a date for Matt James's season. Totally cut. Didn't even see it once. Couldn't believe it. I think it was Tasha and Caitlin. I think they went there for a date.
Oh, no way.
And it got totally cut on Chris Harrison's final season. So, it was.
It's just.
It's disrespectful, man. Let's give her some shine. Let's make her a part of the date.
Like, we're giving her the one where they run around naked and then she has to listen to them sing. Like, what?
Well, she wasn't even a part of it.
No, her role wasn't. She just sat there and listened to them.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't play a role in it.
Yeah.
Like, let's use the people you got.
This is where, we had our kind of nothing group dates. We had our nothing issue with Cassidy. And then we had a good one-on-one, but nothing super notable.
It was good. Yeah, it was just good.
So let's get into pun intended, the meat of the episode.
Shrimpgate.
Let's talk about Shrimpgate, baby. Let's talk about Shrimpgate. I don't even know where to begin. Like, she's bonkers. She's bonkers, and she's not bonkers. And the maddening part about it is she doesn't even care. She's she lives on another planet. She's on Saturn right now. I'm looking at her social media feed. She put a shrimp in the bio. No remorse. She doesn't understand.
She's never on Mora Mountain, baby. Mora Mountain from Space Jam.
Mora Mountain. She's like she's not even running Mora Mountain. She's like pushing grocery carts at Mora Mountain. She's like she's everything I don't want to be as a person. She's completely oblivious to how social interactions should be performed in any sense. I've never seen someone with less self-awareness. Like, I'm not trying to go on a rant and a tangent right now. I can't even compute how much I hate her personality. I'm trying not to say I hate her because I don't know her, but I hate everything that she is and stands for.
Yeah.
So
I'll agree with you there.
I can't believe I didn't bring this up on the live stream. This is nothing. This is like, it couldn't matter less, but I happened to make a delicious shrimp pasta before last night's live stream. And then I forgot to.
You made it last night?
Yeah, last night.
Oh, that's very nice.
It's kind of just a fun little coincidence. But Elizabeth, on the other end of the spectrum, is the nicest woman in the world. She's just the nicest dude.
Making some garlic butter shrimp for everyone.
So, dude, let's think about how this started too. So Elizabeth essentially out of nowhere gets dragged into this beef. She tries to have a nice conversation with Clayton, gets railroaded. She takes Shanae aside and goes, "What's up? Like, let's keep, like, can we just like not talk about each other? Yeah. There's no beef here." And Shanae goes like, "Oh, didn't you apologize for bullying me?" And Elizabeth goes, No. I just said, like, let's put it to bed." Shanae goes off the rails, makes fun of her ADHD, and basically here we are. Yeah. Shanae keeps bringing it up to Clayton. And so what does Elizabeth do? She makes the house, and Shanae in particular, shrimp.
Yep.
First of all, look delicious. Look spectacular. Look so good. Then we get, and this is the tough part, because I hate Shanae. I really do. Well, I guess I did say it. I do hate Shanae, but it was only a matter of time. I was not making it through the episode. But I feel for her as someone who loves to eat, who loves food. I don't want to be on TV where there's like a counter for anything I'm eating, because I'm getting busted. I'm getting busted. Even if I'm not the villain of the season, that counter's going for garlic shrimp.
Joey Chestnut.
Out of 15 shrimp, she eats 8 herself, with no remorse. And we had someone in the live stream yesterday say, as a germaphobe, like her picking them out with her fingers and cooking them with her fingers, taking years off our lives. Yep, same. It was disgusting. But man, what are your thoughts on the situation? We can get into her talking about Clayton or talking to Clayton later too. It's just a complete madhouse.
I'm going to quickly speak on Shrimpgate specifically.
Go ahead.
I mean, this is a nothing comment, but listen. I'm a guy who, if I make a pack of shrimp, I'm eating the whole thing, and you just have to eat the whole thing because they're so delectable.
Yeah.
If you're in a group setting like that, you got to know you can only take 3 max. That's what I was
going to say 3 max. Yeah. I think you got to go 2, and maybe with that many women left, that might even be pushing it. It might be a 1 shrimp.
You got to go 2, and maybe you can go back for a 3rd later.
Yeah.
And then, like, that wasn't enough for her. Like, after she not like physically enough food. I mean that drama wise, she goes back afterwards, makes her own shrimp because she's like, Elizabeth thinks that she can make shrimp for everybody. Well, I can make shrimp too. It's like, okay,
they looked horrible.
Sure.
You look worse.
Well, they were raw. Like, they were like they were gray coming off the skillet.
And then she takes it out to the girls in the hot tub. Gets like mad, like, oh, they didn't even look at me, and like creates drama out of that.
Yeah,
she's like, I tried to do something nice and give you guys shrimp, and no one even looked at me. It's like,
it just felt like a fever dream the whole way through.
Yeah,
she is like, and I'm only Dr. Stahl when it comes to kissing, and we were joking a lot last night. I kind of like I might need to retire this season because as much as Clayton's getting critiqued for the sound of his kisses, like, dude, he's wearing a mic. I think. He's got it down. We got good kissing this season. Not really much to analyze. All the girls seem to like it. So I might have to put on my lab coat and just diagnose her as a nut bar. She's nuts, man.
She's
this
Looney
girl's
Tunes.
actually Looney Tunes. She's ever straight just taken out of the loony bin and dropped into the show.
She's a hover rocker, baby.
It's almost like not worth go. Like we have to because it was a chunk of the episode, but it's not worth like trying to rationalize his behavior. It's just the fact that Elizabeth is. I suppose this is the fact that she's not playing into the game is probably very maddening. Mm-hmm. I had people say also that Shanae's in love with Elizabeth, which I like that angle. I'm not ruling that out.
I love that angle.
Yeah, I think that's definitely. I don't think we can rule that out. But yeah, it's like poor Elizabeth. She's just very nice, very mature. Clayton, look, we talked about him being a better bachelor than we expected, and he tweeted about it last night. He's like, it's so crazy how I was getting 2 different stories. Dude, that's the show. Come on, man. You just dealt with that earlier tonight. You just dealt with it. And how do you not, like, when you're getting 2 completely different stories, Elizabeth's like, there's no bullying at all going on. This chick's crazy, the truth. And Shanae going, I'm getting bullied by this person. She's influencing the house. How do you not just go? And finally, he does it, I guess, at the end of the episode. We might be getting it next episode. Yeah. I guess. We'll see. How do you not just sit them both down in the whole group setting and go, okay, what's the truth? Pick a side, guys. What's like real?
Everyone
here?
Pick a side here. Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't believe it. He's talking to Shanae. Nothing is confirmed yet. Right? I guess it could be edited. We don't know who he talked to first.
Yeah.
But he has not fixed the situation at all. You gotta, and I mean, pun intended again, you gotta hold your tongue, dude. You can't be smooching people when there's still drama afoot. You can't.
And not in that way either. He didn't even. Oh yeah. He was just kind of like, thanks for sharing. He pulled a Matt James. And he was just like, thanks for sharing, and just like. Went in for the makeout immediately.
Thanks for sure. Yeah. And then it tragically cuts to her confessional where she's pretty much just bragging about like,
she's like, I got him. I got him. Oh, I didn't even think I was going to be able to cry, but I pulled it off.
Yeah.
And he's probably, dude,
God.
He must be looking at that and being like, oh, I'm a moron. But then when you watch Elizabeth's confessional and see her crying and see her be like, I just want to have a nice conversation with the guy who I think is cute. She also said that the Baywatch group date, she had a great line where it was like, yep, I just want to hang out with my friends and talk to a guy who I think is cute. And it's like,
well, that's what it's gotten down to. It's just like at this point for her, she's like, I just want the baseline, man.
I literally just want a conversation where I'm not talking about this crazy fucking insane person. But so I get, but also, I know, like, let's blame Clayton. But what's up with the other girls? What's going on? What are we doing? I get, like, shout out to, I believe, is it Sierra?
Yeah.
Is it Sierra?
Yeah, it was Sierra.
Yep. Yeah, and I like her because some people are being like, oh, is Sierra the next snitch? Well, Coop, we always talk. People get addicted to it. So we'll see. I think Katie how she did. Yes. I think we'll see if she evolves. But I think both her call-outs were perfectly valid. But with the ADHD stuff in particular, how do you not go up and be like, hey, just so you know, someone's entire like mental well-being is being affected by someone making fun of them around the house.
Yeah, and that funny you brought that up. That's the exact thing that Shanae says to Clayton. She goes, my well-being is like being affected by this, or my mental well-being.
Like, we're living in a bizarro world.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even gonna let her gaslight me. She's living in a bizarro world.
Yeah,
she is living in a bizarro world.
We aren't.
Dude. The only solace that I have is the fact that like this is it. This is the world hates her, and this is as good as it's gonna get for her.
Yeah,
that's a pretty tough pill.
You're completely right. Like where is everybody else in this moment kind of taking a stand? Like,
but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think honestly, in like the house dynamic, I think while the cameras are away and the girls are just hanging out, I think it's a-okay for Elizabeth. Everything's fine. But then as soon as Shanae gets around Clayton, then that's where it's like bad for her. Because I think Shanae just gets ignored in the house and they just do their own thing. The girls do their own thing. That's I think that's how it is.
Sure. Yeah. They just don't like, and I think you're 1,000% right, Gary. they just, it's not an issue of they're bullying you. It's an issue if they don't like you, they don't want to hang out with you, and they don't have to because you're grown adults. But dude, like the whole chapter, like they were all saying the cocktail party was dominated by the drama.
Yeah.
So just squash it. You saw tears from someone that you like very much, like who you're friends with, who just made you shrimp. You can't say anything. I get, like, I suppose it's an issue of we don't want to like be that person.
Yeah.
And
somebody
I'm not
should
going to put it on
up, though. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Let's be upstanders, people. But that being said, quick prediction before we dive into our roses and thorns.
Yeah.
Is next episode Shanae's final appearance on this season?
If it isn't, I'm not watching anymore until she's gone.
It's getting to the Victoria Larson point where
exactly
it's
time
really
to
fun, really fun. I can't watch this chick anymore. I can't.
Yeah, I think it all explodes next week.
I thought we were going to get a 2-on-1 next week, but I think we would have seen that in the preview. So I don't think we'll be getting that. Which is fair. A little too early for it.
Yeah.
And one final prediction, maybe, because this is always the case. And I got a good guess. I won't give it to you. I know Gary knows what it is. Who do you think is going to be the next villain? Because there's always the next villain, right? Like it's never.
For sure. There's always the next villain.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got one picked out.
Can we hear it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Genevieve.
Oh.
And look, I don't dislike her, and she's certainly not on a level of Cassidy, or she's not a villain at all right now. I'm just purely speculating, which is tense. A tense person.
Yep.
I saw that expression when the cake fell.
Lindsay W. Though. I don't know, man.
Could be Lindsay W. However, the thing that makes me like Lindsay W. is the fact that she was the only other girl named with Elizabeth for bullying Shanae.
Yeah, true.
So, but I know what you're saying. I can see that. To me, it's just like that face when Cassie dropped the cake on Genevieve's expression
just screamed hatred.
Well, it screamed, "I'm going to break your neck," and then use your head as a pillow tonight. Like, it was like, so there's rage in there that is unfettered and incalculable. So we'll see. But yeah, okay, guys, let's jump into our roses and our thorns. I just realized now, and maybe this is emblematic of the episode, I didn't write down a rose.
That's always tough. All right, we'll start with you, David.
Let's kick it off. We always start negative. So let's start with the rose, or let's start with the thorn first. I can kick it off with my thorns, though,
sure,
if you want.
Kick it off.
Okay. I'm not even going to give it to Shanae just because maybe one of you guys wants to tackle that or whatever. I'm going to go with Clayton's hoodies. Let's get rid of them.
Yeah, you took mine.
Don't tell me to go first. Well, then don't tell me to go first.
Fair enough.
Don't try to railroad me. Yeah. There we go. And I knew I was too. I knew I was taking one of yours.
Actually, that wasn't my thorn.
Okay.
But, oh, that was your rose?
Your rose is the fact that we're not seeing it anymore? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. My thorn's probably gonna go to the date between the one-on-one with him and Sarah.
There goes my.
That was just the worst thing ever.
Shit, now I'm out. I got nothing now.
Dude, no one has talked about Shanae, my man.
I'll keep on.
Well, that's
maybe go something specific. Go something specific.
With Shanae?
Yeah. We got to really nail it down with something you hate.
Okay, like the shrimp has kind of been bothering me. The sheer number of shrimps.
Sheer number, yeah.
What? How many did she end up? She
8 out of 15.
8. Okay.
8 of 15.
That's just ridiculous.
Over half with her fingers. So in my mind, she ate 15 out of 15 because the rest are sullied.
Well, they are sullied. Yeah. And how many of her own shrimp do you think she ate when she made them?
Well, no one ate any of them because they were inedible. I think she ate all of them. Like,
she probably ate all of them.
Because she gave them a little bowl to the hot tub. I guarantee she gave them 3 in there. Yeah. And then she had 15 in her bowl. Yeah.
Which all right, I guess my thorns. Shrimpgate.
Shrimpgate. There you go. Beautiful. I wonder what this episode is going to be titled. What's your? I can kick it off with the rose if you want, but I don't want to steal someone's because I got mine. So I'll risk it. Gary, let's have you kick it off with your rose.
I'm gonna give it to Clayton in the first half of the episode. He really showed some growth, and he showed us that he's not just big dumb idiot.
Brute.
But then he kind of he kind of did himself dirty in the last half, but we'll forget about that.
First half, Clayton.
Yeah,
very
first
specific
half,
rose.
Clayton. Yeah.
Okay. I respect it. Coop, what you got?
Well, I did have the end of the hoodie jacket combination, but what I will say, and I know I hated on this earlier in the episode, I'll give Clayton a rose. Not that he necessarily picks his own outfits, a rose for changing it up with the leather jacket. You know what? He showed some spice there a little bit. Do I think he pulled it off entirely? No, but I do like the look of a leather jacket. Now, you know what? That takes some guts to pull it out.
Yeah.
Yep. I respect that. Side, you know what? One more thorn. Why am I getting Slack updates from work right now? 7:16. Why are we sending Slacks, guys? Come on, just end the night. Just go watch some Bachelor that you missed last night or something. But my rose, I'm gonna go with, dude. I was gonna go with Gabby. I'm actually gonna go. It's a bit of an abstract rose, but the fact that we got a lot of contestants who could win it this season. I'm gonna go with the contestant pool because I think in seasons past, we were talking about this on the live stream. Sometimes it feels like, oh, it's a 2-woman race or it's a 2-man race or a 3-person, whatever. Right now, I could see like legitimately 8 or 9 people winning this. We're forgetting about Susie. I really like the connection with Rachel. I don't hate Sierra.
Gabby's now in it. Yeah.
Gabby, Sarah. There's a million, Serene. Yeah. There's a million contestants that have really strong connections. And Clayton, to his point, I know he has some blind spots, but he's also open to all these women.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is something I really, really like. And hopefully something that can progress next episode with Elizabeth. One final prediction. How far does Elizabeth go? Does she have any chance on this season? Any at all?
I don't think so. I think I don't want to say that she's going to be tied down because of what's kind of occurred, but I think that's unfortunately going to have tinted her or the tinted Clayton's opinion of her. Or view of her a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's tough. And also just the simple fact of like they've just have had no chance for progression.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're getting to the point now you got to have that
I think
established.
She's screwed, but
I want
know
her to
for
go
a
farther,
fact
but I think
she'll be on Paradise.
Yeah.
And I think Shanae will be too. And then
you
I
really
will
think
be...
Shanae's going to be on Paradise?
I could see
I don't
that.
think she is.
We'll see. I actually don't know because I think
Cassidy's like the easy pick.
Cassidy's
an easy choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they bring them back as a duo. I could see that. That could be a thing.
Cassidy's gonna want nothing to do with Shanae though.
Oh,
She's too strategic. She knows that there's bad PR there. But we'll see how it all shakes out next episode. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in with us. Fellas, thanks so much for joining us always. Fun pod for not so fun an episode, but I think it's going to be a very, very, very interesting season as we go. As always, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend. It helps us out so much. Producer Gary, remember,
a wet bird never flies at night.
Thank you and peace.